What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Star Savior video, and today we are going to talk about what to do with your free limit break or that core you get from the New Player 2.0 login event. Now, I actually don't have it on my screen here because I did claim it, and once you actually do, after you finish the first week of quests, depending on when you actually started the game, so if you started a day late, you will also get it a day late. All the way at the bottom here, you will get this core. Now this core, it says it's a universal currency that can be used for the limit breaks and stellar sigils of any savior. So basically it's a dupe, right? The limit breaks are those stars, and then those stellar sigils will actually be those extra dupes. So just to go over it very quickly and refresh, the things that you get after 3 stars, it will only give you 2% stats, right? So you'll see I do have Stellar Sigil Stage 1 on my Waltz Acera, which is 5 copies total, right? This is 2, 3, 4, 5. And I do get all these passives beforehand, which are way more important. And then I also get this Stellar Sigil, which is going to give me 2% stats for each one I do up to 7. So generally, actually like 100% of the time right now at this point in the game, you do not want to go for any of these purple ones. There's no character in the game that is that broken, even though Waltz Acera is one of those characters that might seem that broken and nothing's really worth going for the purple ones. You're going to look to aim for these limit break stages. Now, something to note, and I think some people still don't know this, which is fine because the game doesn't really do a great job explaining it, is even if you have 1 dupe or 2 copies total of a character and you get to limit break stage 1, your level cap is still 160, which is why I highly recommend going for any source of SSRs, because you do need to get to limit break stage 2, which is 3 copies total to raise that level cap, and then 4 copies total at limit break stage 3 to get to 200. And this is extremely important because of the star link, right? So you do want 4 level 200s star linked. That way you are able to make the level cap of all your characters 200, and then eventually what ends up happening is with more limit breaks of other characters, you'll see in this picture here that it'll go even further past 200. So limit breaks, dupes in this game are very important, especially when you approach the late game. So any dupe is good as long as you're not hitting those purple stars on the bad characters. But even if you do, it's not the end of the world. You can see I already have 6 characters because my focus with my currency right now is just going for as many dupes as possible. So when I do approach that Starlink level 200, I will be able to progress even further very, very quickly, right? So what characters do you actually want to dupe up? So obviously the main team that you use is very important. In fact, Acera is a very, very good choice to go for, even though we just looked at her, because even though she becomes very strong starting at limit break stage 1 because she gets this heal on her basic attack, the thing is, this is going to be 50% at level 2, so limit break stage 1, of a chance of basic attacking when you have 5 stacks of insight, which is very easy to get. Then at level 3, it's going to go up to 75%, and then at limit break 3, it goes up to 100%. So she's going to dual attack every single attack that your team makes, which is very, very strong because she's basically healing your team every single turn they take if they are using their single target attack. So I think if you have this core, going for 3-star Waltz Acera is very good. If you guys don't actually have her at any limit breaks because you only have 1 copy, well, this is your saving grace. You can actually use it on her now, and she's going to be very powerful. Without the limit break 1-star, I think she's not a good character at all and not worth using. But once you get a copy of the limit break honor 1-star, that's where she starts shining, and up to 3 stars, which you want to aim for, she's insanely, insanely strong. Now, what are some other characters that are worth actually going for? So some people might look at Lacey because of the fact that she's a really strong character. However, you have to note that when you actually upgrade her limit break with a dupe, even though she's a character you might be using everywhere, she only gets this 5% attack, right? And even though this does scale with her healing that she gets, it's not going to really enable anything in her passive. So what I would recommend is not duping anything that has a passive that does only give you stats, if that makes sense, right? Acera's, for example, will give you the dual attack and the heal, right? Which is very, very important. So I think Lacey and stuff like that are not really good to go for. So what about Waltz Acera? If you guys already have her at 3 stars, what are some good characters to actually use the core on? So one example that's out right now, which is very good, is going to be Hilde. And Hilde is really good because of the fact that if you are planning to use her, she actually requires kind of similarly to be at 3 stars of limit break. And the reason why is because the way she actually works is she has this preemptive guard, which is basically like a taunt. And this will actually start at 10%, which is very low, but it scales up. And you will eventually need to get her to not just 2-star, not just 1-star, but 3-star, because this way she can be way more effective, especially in PvP, where she shines with this preemptive guard. So this is a very good character to actually use it on as well if you do plan to use her for PvP. So for the PvE characters that most people are going to want to use their dupes for, there's not really many choices besides Ysera. Now it's something to note that this core will actually be usable on, I believe they said future characters, and there's nothing here that indicates that it won't be the case because it says any savior here, right? So what this means is that any future characters coming out, including the new collab cosmic character in Rosaria, who looks to be very, very strong. If you guys didn't look at her skills, basically she's a damage dealer that can do a ton of damage and also has a defense down, which is not very prevalent in this game, right? And her limit break looks pretty good, right? Because you'll get a longer attack buff. So going to 1-star doesn't do too much, but getting the 2-star will increase the attack buff to 2 turns here, and then getting the 3-star will actually increase it to 3 turns, right? Will it matter in PvE? I think it's pretty good. Probably not necessary because Bunny Girl Charlotte can AoE attack buff your team, and Emily can attack buff your team as well. But if this works on future characters, which I believe it does, then Rosaria might be an option for you. Now, what if you guys are trying to get into PvP, right? You have all the PvE units built, you don't care. So I'll give you guys 3 characters that you can actually go for that are very good. So the first 2 are going to be very offensive-based characters that are very powerful in PvP. The first one is Dana. So the reason why Dana is really good is if you only have 1 copy of her, right, you don't get an effect. But at level 2, at 1-star, you're going to get this speed up for 1 turn. It has a chance, of course, until you actually max it out. But it's really good on her because she's a very hard-hitting nuker that wants to crit. And with this speed buff, if you are playing a cleave style, you can actually lap the enemy team and just do a ton of damage, right? Because you have speed down, you'll get a speed buff on yourself, and you can actually attack up yourself and also another character. So she's just really strong as an offensive PvP opener right now and does a ton of damage. Another good opener, which I think a lot of people that are playing PvP probably have encountered, is Luna. Luna's also pretty good because with her base passive, she only gets this attack buff, but when she actually gets the 1-star, she's gonna get crit damage, and this will scale up all the way to 20%. And this is a 100% chance to actually activate, so as you're duping her up, not only are you getting this crit damage buff, but keep in mind you're getting this attack percent going up, so this will make her hit a lot harder, and she's like one of the best speedy PvP characters to open with because she is insanely powerful in terms of damage. Out of the 2, I'd say if you're playing that playstyle, I think Luna's the better choice because she's cosmic, so it's actually harder to pull her, while Dana is going to not be cosmic, so it's actually easier. She's green, so I think Luna's the better choice of the 2 if you want to play that style. Now the last character for PvP, the third one, is Elisa. This character is insane in those stall tank down comps for PvP, and the reason why she's good is because she can revive and just do a ton of healing. With her passive upgrade, she actually gets this effect where she will actually remove agitation stacks and will give herself an extra turn if she has agitation at max stacks when she uses Please Go Back. This skill is just going to be your basic attack, so you could see that you can actually utilize this to get an extra turn when you're using your single target attack, and this is really good because with that extra turn, reducing your cooldowns. And after the first dupe, it doesn't really matter too much. You're just getting more HP and more recovery, which will matter in those tank down comps probably later on. But she's a really good one to get 1 limit break star on if you're looking for her for PvP. But outside of this, I just say, just hold your dupes, right? Either for Rosaria or for future characters. The only ones you really need as a new player is maxing out your Ysera, long story short. Going for 3 stars is a very good option, but you could also make the argument if you have her at 1 or 2 stars to probably just wait. But if you want to progress in PvE right now, I would say if you don't have her limit broken at stage 1, definitely worth going for because this is a pretty important passive to activate. But that is pretty much it for today's video. Thank you for watching, guys. Let me know down below who you guys are using this free limit break on, and I'll see you guys next video.